Welcome back to your #1 stop for Dune Awakening, and today I am here to help you all out by helping you find some hidden treasure inside of the deep desert, from random loot, equipment, as well as some items you will need if you want to take part in the land wag. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first of all, to go without saying, you're going to need a helicopter here, and we're going to need one extra equipment on it, which is this scanner right here. Since we're going to need this so we can start finding treasure. But if you need help actually getting your hands on one of these scanners, you can find it in your resource tab and down here in the aluminum tier. And it will require a couple things: 55 aluminum, some pieces of machinery, some paste and whatnot. So once you have this unlocked and have it created, you can go ahead and attach it to your chopper. So once you have that, there are a few other things we need to have here. So I do recommend having extra storage on your helicopter if you are able to, as well as of course some boots if you happen to have your soft depth boot. This is recommended since we are going to be landing where the warm is, so having it is a bonus, not a complete need, but is helpful if you do have it. As well as of course make sure you have some water on you, especially if you're planning on being out there for a long amount of time, and of course some fuel for your chopper, since fuel will drain pretty quick. So also make sure you have some of this in your inventory as well. Hey, future me here, I forgot to mention one other equipment item we're going to need for this, and that is of course your static capacitor. So make sure you have one of them as well on your character so you can actually dig up the treasure. I don't know how that slipped my mind, but nonetheless, either way, make sure you have this, and let's get back to the video. And once you have all that in hand, let's go ahead and hit up any of the edges on the map here to transport to the deep desert. And when you arrive at the deep desert, it doesn't really matter which way we enter here, so go in whichever way you want. And from here, let's go ahead and start digging. So when it comes to actually getting the treasure itself, once you're in the deep desert, we want to go ahead and head out of the opening area. You would know the opening area because of all these stones and stuff, because we want to go into the complete wasteland of a Wacket here, of which we'll go ahead and begin right at the end of A into B. So from B to E, you are looking at this being the PvE zones that you can afford to actually get your hands on the treasure. Just know there is treasure going all the way to the end of the deep desert, but once again, once you start getting into the EFs, so on territory, that will be PvP. So if you specifically just want to do this and not have to worry about PvE, make sure you stay around from B to about E. But once you are ready to fully hit this up, we're going to go ahead and we need to head a little bit down near the bottom of the desert here, since we need to go ahead and be pretty close to the ground itself. And we're just going to go ahead and hit our scan button and let our scan do its thing. Of course, buried treasure are not always easy to find. You will have to just kind of fly around and keep scanning till you find some. And once I actually do find some, we will talk about how you can tell what it actually looked like. So when it comes to actually scanning, once you go ahead and find your treasure, you will notice they will pop up with these little yellow dots on them. We got one here, two over there, and another one over here. These will usually spawn in groups, so keep that in mind. Once you find one treasure, you will probably find a lot more. So if we go ahead and go down, you will see we got that little landmark now on the map. So let's go ahead and just scan it one more time since it does disappear. And if we go ahead and land our ship and get out with our capacitor, other than of course having my ship trying to run over me, if we use our capacitor, it will go ahead and dig up the buried treasure. And when it comes to the treasure, you can get a whole bunch of different items. Bites seem to be pretty common in this, as well as a few other crafting materials and some exclusive materials such as that plate that I believe can only be found in the chests. And of course, the main thing of interest here is this fire gem, which is, of course, the item we need for the land wag that you can go ahead and turn into your house representative to get some house points. But let's go ahead and collect all these and try to get back to my ship before a worm show up, since we did kind of land on a hill. But like I stated, these will be finding in groups all over the place here. And just keep in mind, since this is the deep desert, the items are randomized as far as well they will actually spawn. And so keep that in mind. It will change from week to week to week. So with that being said, though, just keep looking around and you will eventually find a whole group of them like I have been right here. So once you have collected enough to your heart content, and now that we made it back to our base in one piece, let's talk about what I ended up finding from picking up roughly 5 to 6 of the buried treasure. We did get up some cobalt paste, some fiber. We got, of course, some machinery or advanced machinery, and some parts for vehicles, as well as a power regulator, a sandbite scanner, some more pieces for equipment and weapon. Got me a raw blood sack, as well as a weight amplifier, some metal for ignition, some blade component. Of course, once again, our gems, which are the important thing here for the land rat, as well as some mats and some Wayne refiner. And we can't forget about our bites and some more ore. So there's another way to get titanite ore if you're going for that, as well as some light chamber compression, a little bit of gold or money, nothing too crazy there, a little bit of course bites already refined, as well as a core and some plates as well. So as you can see, a decent amount of stuff coming out of about 5-ish of the buried treasure. So as you can see, if you do this a lot, it can very much stack up, and even more so with pretty much treasure leading you from one to the next to the next. Like I said, the only downside is the random amount of items, and of course the randomize of actually finding it up. But it does take some patience, but in the long run it can be worth it in the end. And of course, with that, that is everything you need to know about treasure hunting inside of Dune Awakening. So you don't got to worry about PvP or anything. You can go ahead and get in PvE zones. And with that, that's going to go ahead and do it for me. If you have found that video helpful in any way, shape, or form, make sure to do thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells up below. And of course, come on over to my live stream that we do every single night, starting around 8 p.m. when my sleep schedule not screwed up. And of course, if you want to become like all the wonderful folks here, be sure to hit that join button here on YouTube. Hit up, of course, Patreon as well, and subscribing over on Twitch. Links in the description for all that. And thank you, my dudes. And with that, that's gonna go ahead and do it for me. But like always, I will go ahead and see you in the comments.